Shalom, Labachayayim, Shal Yashala, peace be to the elect of the nation of Israel, which consists of the 144,000 Hanabayayim, all Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and of course the Israelite foreigners, which have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and the rest of the 1/3, men, women, and children, which will believe in the words which the prophets shall speak, which the prophets are the Ra'ashim, the heads of the nation. Of course, the Bayath Awadah are, of course, to that house of David, in which the Lord set up the prophets to prophesy unto the 12 tribes of Israel, and the elect will receive the salvation on this side, and receiving that dawah, which will be the exemption from the judgment, which we see, which is imminent. Of course, I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Well, of course, before that, also, call Halayim La Yahweh Bashim Al Shabashim Kakodash, all praises to the Most High, which his name is Yahweh. His only begotten Son's name is Yahweh Shai, the world ignorant calls Jesus Christ, by Hashem, meaning in the name Recha, meaning Spirit Kodash is holy. To utter in the Paleo Hebrew, the pure tongue, Lashwan Kodash, language of the heavens, which we have today, and we speak through faith and call upon the names of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai for our salvation, us Israelites, and those who believe they are, okay, Israelites. To you I say Shalom, Shalom, Chesed, peace and mercy to you, to the election, La Bachayarim, the election, to the election. Shemiyah Mafa, my name is Amafa from the Great Millstone Plaintables Camp, located here in the city of Philadelphia. Coming with another my Lamadium, or a little lesson, Ma'amath of truth, in which I'm covering the prophecy of the mark of the beast in brief. An article which I have before me on the screen, in which the headline reads off of dailymaverick.co.za: the human microchips are here. Would you implant one? So I mean, if you see it actually written here in these articles, and we know that the Edomites are wicked, as is written in the scriptures. I'm gonna get a precept, or a quad, which is precept, real quick, or Chawash, which says, should be in the book of Ezekiel, most likely 28:3. It reads here, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. All right, which we're speaking about these Edomites. All right, there is no secret that they can hide from thee. So going to it, Chakam is what means wise in Hebrew, and you have Danya Allah, which is a prophet of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, which the Lord, of course, revealed many prophecies onto him. And you read in the scriptures in the book of Daniel's, all right, and of course the prophets, when you go into it as a collective, the Lord, of course, revealed a secret unto them. But you have it where, of course, these Edomites, okay, they of course have these left hand side dealing with them, and of course the Lord having them in that stock, in which they, through the spiritual demon Satan, they know exactly whom they are. They know they are the wicked, and they know exactly their lot and what they're supposed to fall in. And I'm speaking of the elite of them, okay? They have it where these Edomites, they of course are more so in the know, or yadai, which means to know, and the knowledge of these actual biblical prophecies more than you, which is ridiculous. And that's why, of course, it tells you that our people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. And of course, our people are rebellious and sought as children. Because if you have an Edomite whom, of course, the Lord isn't it dealing with, and they of course have knowledge of the chip, which you'll see, you clearly have to be not anointed, all right, and not have any understanding, okay? Because you have these various false prophets which are claiming that the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip, that the chip, the RFID microchip, also known as the NFC chip, is the actual mark of the beast. And they're telling you, some of them and some of these groups are telling you can actually accept it. Of course, there's recently a recent group of Hebrew Israelites, which I believe this was the ISUBK, with the General Yohana. He of course is saying that you can take the chip, which that's ridiculous. That's absolutely insane, because it violates the Holy Scriptures, the actual prophecy which we'll get in the book of Revelation, chapter 13 and 15. And it reads here that, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. The image of the beast is a Roman system in which we are in due to the rebirth, okay, of the Roman Empire, okay, which that came into its fruition due to the Treaty of Rome. When you, of course, go back into the history, when you have 10 horns, okay, which are now 28 member states in the EU, and of course you have the NATO, and that partnership and such makes up the beast, okay, NATO and the EU, okay, those old Roman vassal states and such, they're back here, okay, as under new names and such in the modern day. And of course, they of course give their power onto the beast, which is, of course, you have it, the beast being NATO, okay. Of course, you have these different EU nations which aren't part of, of course, are part of NATO, all right. Or more so, I should say, some of these NATO countries aren't a part of the EU, as we go into continually. Where you of course have it where this image of the beast, this system which is filled with nothing but the lies of democracy, the spreading of homosexuality, the wickedness of accepting the philosophies which are outside of the law, statute, commandments of the Lord. You have, of course, the murder. You, of course, have all of these different things which have done nothing but brought wickedness and confusion in the earth. A part, of course, of it, which will be in its end, is to chip the world, okay, which we're going to go into. It says here, I'm going to read it again. This is Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And of course, a part of, you have it, this image of the beast and such. All right, if you're in there dealing with this, the different, you say, facets or different ways of this wicked system, Roman system, which, as the elders and apostles lately been going into They of course have this whole draconian law and such. If you're not down for it, or you're not accepting or reverencing it, they're going to of course destroy you. And that of course comes with that new world order, which they are rushing quickly to establish. And we can see that right now because of the pushing of this RFID chip, the microchip, towards the people accepting it, already preconditioning them before they implement it as a mandatory. So it says here, verse 16, it says, and he calls Esau Edom the wicked, who have control of the whole earth. As is written in Job 9:24, the earth is given in the hand of the wicked. He calls it all, and that's all inhabitants of the earth and such. Okay. Both small and great, rich and poor. Okay, so you have both small and great, regardless of your stature, your social status, rich and poor, your economic status, free and bond, whether you are liberated or incarcerated, to receive a mark, which is chragma in the Greek, which that means an incision. And this is why we know the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip, as we of course have the understanding of the scriptures, have that of course access through Yahushua to understand the scriptures, which Yahushua of course opened the seals of the book, was worthy to. And we of course know that through of course rightly and correctly dividing the word of truth, that this is the chip. Okay, because you have it where this chragma is an incision, okay, where you have a thing carved, okay, and it says a sculpture, a graven work. It says a mark branded upon horses. We know that Esau has us literally as slaves here. Okay, so of course to claim whom his property is, ultimately he wants to put a chip within you, okay, which you accepting this RFID microchip, NFC chip also called as well, in your body, it being of course inserted in your body, which when you go into the root of that word for chragma, it goes into charax, which it means a pale or palisade, okay, which that will be your actual, or have it trenched to your, when you see the actual surgical device, which they literally stab into you, okay, and it inserts that actual enclosure which holds the RFID chip, and then of course they take it out, bandage you up and such. All right, you can of course watch some of the different videos, okay, online, okay, which they have, they've been pushing this very kabod, heavy. All right, rob meaning much or abundantly, kabod, which means heavy in Hebrew. And this is just one video. You can see. I definitely suggest you to check it out. This particular what a shy woman, Edomite at that, of the wicked stock. She has multiple chips in her body. All right, she actually says that she actually had her car key, or her door key, implanted into her left hand, which that would be of course in the form of a microchip. Her door must have RFID technology so that she can of course use this RFID chip to actually grant her the access into her home, because things are now digital, and of course pushing things through the digital, they have this whole transhumanism agenda, which they, if you can read in the beginning of this one video, it of course goes into the belief and theory that the human race can evolve beyond its physical and mental limitations. And that's basically Esau Edom trying to obtain the birthright. Okay, we know that Esau is not spiritual at all. The Lord is not in his thoughts, as you would read in the book of Psalms, the 10th chapter. Okay, which reads, I can see if I can get it. Or I got it, or I will get it. I'm gonna say actually. Hasapar Thaholium of Thaholium. Let me see if I can get it. I'm gonna get it in my physical Bible, so you ain't gonna see it on the screen. Psalms chapter 10, and I'm gonna start at verse 2. It says, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Who are the poor? The wicked, of course, the Edomites. Let them be taken in their devices that they have imagined. Now, some of the different thoughts which they created, which imagine they made and brought into fruition, is the RFID microchip. The Lord put this within them. It says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth, the Lord shuns. Okay, you have the wicked, as you see, they of course believe that the human race can evolve beyond its physical and mental limitation by, of course, merging both human with these various technological gadgets. Okay, getting these different electronic gadgets in your body to defy what they can do with just the flesh. Okay, which ultimately is still fleshly when you think of it, because it's not righteous spiritual power at all. This is a carnal way. When you put a device in your body, different devices in your body, of course, different inventions they make with your left hand side in order to be as Jacob. Okay, this is what the scriptures talk about, the different miracles, okay, which is their technology. Okay, so it's a blessing onto them. So that verse 4, it says, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after power, the Most High. It says God, but it says that's power is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgment are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. And we know that, of course, the Edomites, they are very proud. Okay, they, of course, are known as proud men. As you read, of course, also, in Habakkuk and all over the scripture, Obadiah, the pride that's in them, I know that one says about, of course, about the, let me see, I'll just get it, instead of just quoting it. Habakkuk chapter 2. Right there. Behold, his soul which is lifted up in him is not upright in him. Okay, so that's one thing about the Edomites. Okay, it says here that because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of my people shall spoil thee. Because of men's blood and the violence of the land, the city, and of all that dwell therein. Woe to him that coveteth the evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. We know that the Edomites, of course, accomplished going into the firmament, setting up different dwellings, their satellites and such, and different space stations to try to escape, well, the destruction. But as we go into, they're going to be hoarded up into slavery. Okay, nest goes into Quan, which you go into like a bird's nest. Okay, which is a dwelling or chamber. Okay, which you go into it like the different space retreat they have, and these satellites and space station. Okay, now, and you can read, also, as I had got out and our quoted also in Obadiah, that it says here about Edom, which is the wicked, the vision of Obadiah or Abadiah, servant of the Most High. And it says, thus said the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom, Adawam, we have heard a rumor from Yahweh that an ambassador is sent. It says, an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. So they're hated, of course, amongst these different nations. You can see why. It says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is on high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, it is, the signs of the Edomites, America and Rome. Okay, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, all right, in a different space, either space in the actual firmament, thence will I bring thee down, said Yahweh. All right, so the Lord isn't, of course, happy with Esau, Edom at all. All right, as it says in the scripture, the Lord is angry with the wicked every day, and of course there's a great judgment that's coming for them for what they're going to bring to this world, bring to primarily the Israelites, which is RFID microchip, okay, which we were going into, and is as a incision. Okay, you have it here. You got even here from the root word etymology from what's that? Charazo or charazo, which means to sharpen to a point through the idea of scratching. Okay, it's gonna go inside you. It's an incision. Okay, we know Leviticus 19 and 28 tells us not to, of course, take any cuttings, all right, in the flesh, or any markings for the dead. Okay, that's 19 and 28 actually, Leviticus. All right, 19 and 28. Okay, which, on another note, when you go to the book of Leviticus, let me see, I want to make this point too. What the book of Leviticus, let me see. The book of, let me see how to spell it wrong. Right, Leviticus, when you go into the actual meaning of the book of Leviticus, when you read it out in the Hebrew, okay, you have it, let me see, Wa Ya Korah, all right, meaning and he called in the Hebrew, and Korah means to call. Okay, means to reappoint. Okay, so going into it, it says, basically it consists of the Most High speeches to Moses, or really through Moses to the Most High speaking to Moses, giving the commandments to the nation of Israel. All right, which commands Moses to repeat to the Israelites, right? This takes place, all right, within the history of the Israelites in Exodus when we left out of Egypt, okay? So these are instructions, all right, onto the Israelites. Okay, simple as that. And we know what is lawful, or what is tahar, what is pure, and what is tamah, or what is impure. Okay, and taking a chip in your body is defiling it, and ultimately is a sin unto death and destruction. All right, Leviticus 19:28, it reads, "Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the deed or the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am Yahweh." Okay, so we're not to make any cuttings. Okay, which you have it there for cuttings, which is sharat, actually sharat, sharat. All right. La, it says napash. Okay. And then you have la'ah, thun, wa. All right, which you could go and break it down in the Hebrew. I have to go in the spirit, pretty much. You have it where it says in cuttings, basically, la napash, which napash, that of course means what? The soul. Okay, when you go into it, napash, like napash, yeah, is my soul. Okay, la napash, la cuttings to soul, la give, or right, wa, or give he, perhaps. And it says bashar, which that of course bashar I know means to end. And you have bashar, which means flesh. Bashar, come, and it's and come at the end, or come means when you go and break it down, that will be in the Hebrew, if my memory serves me correct, means your, okay, in a plural masculine sense, right? If I'm, yeah, your flesh, okay. And that's basically it. You got, for right now, so I don't make it too long, okay. We could break it down, we can break this stuff down, through the spirit. The spirit's dealing with his men, so Akim, of course, don't hesitate to go in the spirit, when we doing this work. So we got the cuttings, okay, which incision or cut, in which when you take this chip, it's an incision or cut that's being done unto you in your flesh, okay, which is a violation of that precept. Now going back to that precept being in the book of Revelation, chapter 13 and 16, which we were at, it says, "And he causeth all," and that's Esau, Edom, have control of the whole earth. It says, "Both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." Okay, and that mark, as we broke down, is that RFID microchip. Is the mark of the beast. And Esau, Edom even tells on himself when you read the article. It says here, over the last 2 decades, human microchipping has experienced a very slow growth curve with minimum market penetration, but things might be speeding up as we enter the age of the human cyborg. All right, now we know that things are speeding up because the Lord, of course, is cutting the time down. All right, as it says in the scriptures, I believe the Lord is making things short for the elect's sake. All right, and if, of course, we can, if the Lord ain't did do some of these things, no flesh will be saved. Because Esau, Edom is a very wicked man, where obviously you see that he destroys the entire earth. Okay, and that's why, of course, the Lord has in that precept in Revelation, and I'm gonna bring out this Revelation chapter 18, and I'm gonna start at 17. It says, saying, we give thanks, O Lord Yahweh Almighty, which art and was and art to come, because, or it says Lord God, it says, because thou has already, or Yahweh Shemashai, it says, because thou has already, because thou hast taken to thee thy great power and hast reigned, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the deed that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets. All right, the prophets are servants of the Lord, okay, which we, Lord willing, are prophets. Saying before, being witness for Yahweh Shai. Okay, it says, and to the saints, which are Israelites, and them that fear thy name, which is the elect, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. And the Edomites destroy the earth. Okay, the Lord has to destroy them that destroy the earth. Okay, if the Lord doesn't do it, if he wasn't to do it, we would be destroyed here, because the Edomites are very wicked people. All right, as you see. Okay, they want basically death and destruction for everybody. They don't want. How can life continue with someone who believes in transhumanism and believes in homosexuality, things which have no fruit, all right, in, okay, which aren't fruitful and aren't lawful, and see how about Shemal Shai, or to this world, how the natural cycle of life should be. So it says here, the future is now, and that's a heavy statement right now, because some of these false prophets out here, they don't understand. They still stuck in the past. All right, they not living in the now and seeing, really meaning living in the now, meaning measuring the time diligently itself and having an understanding of the prophecies to know that they're speaking now too, and what it actually, the prophecies are actually saying, what they actually are in its right way. Okay, because you can buy and sell with the chip. Okay, if you got some dudes that don't understand that. It says the future is now. It's just not evenly distributed yet. See, right? Meaning it's not mandatory yet, really. Okay, evenly distributed. The distribution where they're gonna spread all of this. Okay, that's distribute. All right, distribute it. That of course goes into when things are dealt out. Okay. Things are gonna, and it says here, the proceeds are distributed among his creditors to give out. That's just an example of how to use it. All right, we of course we're debt slaves unto Esau, Edom. He wants to give out a chip, all right, and control everything. It says, yet says Dr. Elsa Sortaridis, quoting American Canadian science fiction writer William Gibson, who is said to have uttered the phrase in a 1993 interview. And it says that Sortaridis used this quote while speaking at the Ordiv Developers Conference in 2018. She is a synthetic biologist, and we deal with, when you deal with synthetics, obviously you deal with things which are artificial, okay, not natural. Synthetic substance made of chemical synthesis, usually to imitate a natural product. It's just not genuine, okay? So, dealing with false things. It says biologist. Okay, I believe bio means of earth. You go into the etymology. Bio means life, actually, Slakia. Like bio. So going back, Slakia. And where we was. It says here, that future is science fiction writer, biotech venture capitalist, and self-described biofuturist. Her field of interest right now is the world of digital biology, from biohacking, exploring how future computer parts won't be manufactured but biologically grown. So, they literally want to somehow through technology grow these things, okay, with in the form basically to be like as if it's a part of life, okay, that we can literally, like, you have lab grown meat and stuff like that. That's a new thing what Esau got coming, or may already have on deck, okay. You have it where he wants to literally create artificial things, like you say, genetically modified organisms and stuff. You have it, these biologically grown, basically computer parts, okay, as is where it's going into. It says in the tech scene, and on her website, she's also candidly referred as a cyborg. We know that this whole cyborg is man and human combined. Okay, so a fictional hypothetical person whose physical abilities extend beyond normal human limitation, or by mechanical elements built in the body, and that's what having chips within it. Okay, once you do these chips, you can of course do various feats that aren't possible, and you have it where some of these chips are, have it with these brain chips that's going to be like it being put in your forehead. They got the neural lace is going to make people be able to speak and be able to walk, all types of things. They got chips that work with these different body suits and stuff to make people that are paraplegic can walk. There's all type of tech with this, But anyway, it says in the tech scene in her website, she candidly referred to as a cyborg due to the microchip implant between her left thumb and her index finger. Now, as we go into, some people may say, "Oh, why did you say left thumb and stuff?" Well, it's only because this might look even up with her, and like certain places they do things on the left side, like we always go into over in I know in Great Britain or Scotland over there in the east and such, and even certain places like was under previous British rule. I know like in Jamaica, you have it where they drive on the other side of the street. Okay. So left hand dominant. So anyway, it says left thumb and index finger, but it doesn't matter because it can be any part of your body. You still can be destroyed if you take the chip. It says which she got live on stage at the 2016 Pioneer Festival held in Vienna. During the event, she demonstrated how she could use the implanted chip to send pre-programmed tweets and by swiping her phone over her hand. And you can watch that video. It's ridiculous. It's wicked what she did. And you, Jake, shouldn't take it. It says which you'll be in violation of Revelation 14. Okay, and 8. You can read that. And she was not the first person to get the chip implanted, of course. You have Kevin Warwick, a British scientist, professor of cybernetics, was the first person known to have the surgically implanted silicone chip into his body back in 1998. And the chip was uses radio frequency identification device technology, and allow him to operate various things such as room lights, locks, and lifts. And basically it puts you a part of that Internet of Things, which we of course teach a lot of it. Things, implants for everyone, and how we get there. And you have it with the hard part of the Internet of Things is you being a part of that same grid, which all of these other devices are electronically a part of, where you also are tracked as well. Okay, like you have your different all these different things, and you go into the whole Internet of Things, which I could check in brief just going to Google for now, just to give you a quick definition. Internet of Things, basically interconnecting all the different devices and stuff, including you. Alright, so Internet of Things, interconnection of via the internet of computing devices embedded in everyday objects, enabling them to send and receive data. So of course, interconnection, that's what it is, all due to internet, which will be with this whole 5G technology. Okay, you'll be connected to the grid with the chip, okay, as a person, a part of the society of the New World Order, if you take the chip. Okay, if not, you'll be off grid, which we will be off grid, and when we don't take the chip. And Esau Edom don't want that, because we will be considered as enemies of the state, and thus we of course are in his book to be eliminated. Okay, but the Lord is going to fight for us, obviously. And if we are to die, we of course will be redeemed, Lord willing. We be a part of that elect in a chariot coming back, meeting the elect that are alive. Okay, I call it in the clouds, but that's another lesson for another time. But it says here, in that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast and the number of his name. Here is wisdom, and let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, Esau, and his number is 666. 666. That's Esau's number, which is integrated within the barcode system. Okay, these NPC codes and such. All right. Slakia. So Esau Edom, the devil that the Bible speaks of, wants you to be a transhumanist. He wants you to be a part of his New World Order, a part of his grid, even though he wants to eliminate you. So that's really, the scoop on this. Okay, you have various. It goes into about the Mall and G, who has the biohacking company Dangerous Things. Which, I mean, if you have a company called Dangerous Things, that's a dead giveaway. All right, Dangerous Things. He created another first implant that uses NFC, same technology that used in smartphones today, to make payments at speed points. Okay, so it can buy and sell. The chip can, of course, make payments. Okay, so it's not, it's no thing that's far-fetched that this is not the chip. That is this not the mark of the beast. It is the mark of the beast. The RFID microchip is the mark of the beast. Okay, and Esau even tells you, okay, that about this. It says here that the detractors of this technology range from when you go into this word for detractors, we'll go into it right now. It says a person who disparaged something or something. Let me see. Let's go into it even more. Detractor. Let's go into it on Google. A person disparaged something or something. Let's see, detract. Let me see, I want to get a deeper definition. And perhaps I'll just go to etymology online, so you can get some roots. I'm just gonna look up detract, because that's what the word I want. It says defame or slander, in which we to take or pull down. We are the ones that the prophets are, of course, not ignorant of Satan's devices. We're of course speaking and defaming it. All right, not in league with it, because it's of course in violation. And you Israelites, so-called Latins, the Americans, those that, of course, Israelite foreigners that are scattered amongst the heathen that can understand these scriptures, okay, to hear the Spirit, okay, and bear witness with it, okay. You are not supposed to take the chip. Okay, simple as that. There's no reason for you to take a chip. You of course gotta rely on Yahweh Shemel Shai, the Lord, the Heavenly Father, true Lord, power, your power of Israel, you Israelite, because you've been told you're all these other false nationalities which are not in the Bible. Okay, you gotta depend on Him for all things. Okay, you know, in the times which you're gonna come, the Lord's gonna be your guide, and you have to take the act of faith, and by not taking this chip, okay, because that's destruction for you. And going back to the article, it says the technology range from religious individual. Basically, you could say believers. That's what they're really talking about. Religious means the bind, all right. But anyway, who see the chip as a fulfillment of biblical prophecy, which it is. As there's other Edomites too that believe in that it is the mark of the beast, like the apostle always tell you about in the Bible Belt here in America. Some of the different Christian believers of the Bible know that it is. It says to those who see it as a security nightmare because it can track you. Okay, though they claim it's not trackable or they don't have tracking properties, but you know, this article covers that there's things they can hook to it, but we know it tracks. Okay, we're not stupid. There's GPS tracking in our phones too. All right. But anyway, it says here, to those who see the security nightmare, further adding to concerns about invasion of our privacy. Microchips have been since 1990s in pets. It's a trial run basically, as a way to identify, basically authenticate your identity. Them should they go missing. Pet microchips don't necessarily have the feature that which they can be tracked. I believe they have it where the when you're lost, somebody find the dog, and then the chip that's in them, they'll of course identify the dog, which has the information in it of the actual owner. Now, in Esau, when he chip you, he's gonna be able to track you, know what you're doing, your every whereabouts and everything, and have all your information on you. You will be tracked, okay? As you are a property of Esau Edom in his setup, in his system, his pit. Okay, when you of course subordinate, be under the rule of this newer order, if you accept the chip. It says the current wave of human microchips don't have batteries. It says and they run off of you. Okay. It says they're the size of a single grain of rice, don't have a lot of memory, and generally store basic information that can be extracted by other machines in the environment. Basically, other devices that can read, radio, read and send various radio frequency waves and such, radio waves and such, NFC stuff, technology. Okay, it shows you here the different makeup, the breakdown of it, the bioglass, the antenna, disruptive joy, the disruptive board, and the LED. That's the chip. Technically, a person cannot be tracked via microchip alone, though there's a machine that can interact with a microchip. Some movements and activities can be documented. That's BS. All right, that's just a trick, you guys. Someone will tell you that, and then you take the chip and get destroyed. It says in 2006, city watchers or Watcher.com, then a video surveillance company in the U.S. started microchipping employees who dealt with most confidential data, so they would require the RFID chip in order to access certain data. All right, and then they got the 3 Square Market. They of course chipped in 2018, which that was what year of prophecy. This is the year of Chragma, which is the chip. Okay, they chipped 50 of their employees voluntarily. It says the technology still in its infancy. That's BS. But the implant technology into the human body is nothing new. All right, we have the same technology in our smartphones, and they say we travel daily with it in our chips in our bank cards. But the only difference would be it being in your body, okay? And you'll be able to do all these different various tasks which the chips enable. Alright, so I'm just going to close out with that just to give you the warning, okay? Don't take the RFID chip. It is the mark of the beast. We're not, of course, ignorant of Satan's device. Okay, read, of course, this Revelation chapter 14 on your own, which tells you, of course, about the destruction to those that take the chip. When you start at Revelation chapter 14 and it says, in the third angel followed them, saying in a loud voice, if any man worship the beast is nailed to the EU, in his image, the image is a system, Roman system, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. Okay, so it don't matter where it is, okay? Some say, oh, it's left or right. See, it doesn't even matter, okay? The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the power which is poured out without mixture in the cup of his indignation, his righteous anger, and shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb being Yahweh Shai, who the world can call Jesus Christ, because the Holy Host is coming back, all right, with Yahweh Shai in the second coming. The Lord is going to meet thee as a man, come back as angelic power, coming to deliver the elect and destroy those who take this chip, okay, and of course accept this new world order. Okay, this system is over. We can clearly see it, and that the prophecies are sped up. As soon as the chip is made mandatory, it's really gonna speed up, and we'll soon be on our way out of here, delivered, Lord willing. So with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Shem Hashem, Shem Kudash, and double honors to elders, apostles at Great Millstone. Well, another warning not to take the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast. Okay, it's proven that it is, and we of course believe through faith that it is. Shalom.